If you would like to take notes during the trial, you may do so. On the other hand, of course, you are not required to take notes if you do not want to. That will be left up to you individually. You will be provided with a notepad and a pen for use if you wish to take notes. You've already received those. Any notes that you take will be for your personal use. However, you should not take them with you from the courtroom. During recesses, the bailiff will take possession of your notes and will return them to you when we reconvene. After you have completed your deliberations, the bailiff will deliver your notes to me. They will be destroyed. No one will ever read your notes. If you take notes, do not get so involved in note-taking that you become distracted from the proceedings. Your notes should be used only as aids to your memory. Whether or not you take notes, you should rely on your memory of the evidence, and you should not be unduly influenced by the notes of other jurors. Notes are not entitled to any greater weight than each juror's memory of the evidence. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I will ask the State of Florida, would you like to give an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed, Ms. Klein.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. 25 and 0. 25 and 0. It's a good record. Perfect record. That was the defendant's record as an amateur boxer. He never lost a fight. Ever. 25 and 0. And that wasn't going to start on August 8th, 2013. He wasn't going to lose to his wife. He wasn't going to lose by letting her leave, as she had said she was going to do. And he wasn't going to lose to his wife after she called him a pussy during an argument. On August 8, 2013, in the morning hours, the defendant and his wife, Jennifer Alfonso, were arguing. And they were arguing over what might ordinarily be a typical partner, husband-wife argument. She wanted to spend more time with him. And he wasn't being responsive to that. He seemed insensitive. Maybe she was being naggy or needy. So in addition to not wanting to spend more time with her, when she would bring it up, he got upset with her. And so she got angry about that. And they argued upstairs in their bedroom. She threw stuff at him, stuff she had around, mascara, a towel, during the course of the argument. What did the defendant do? Well, he went and got his gun. He went to the closet, unholstered his gun after she threw some mascara and a towel at him, and he pointed at the gun at her and threatened to shoot her if she didn't stop throwing a towel and mascara at him. So she stopped. She went downstairs to the kitchen, maybe to make pancakes for her 10-year-old daughter, Isabel Vieira, who was upstairs. And before she did that, though, she told him that she's leaving him for good, that she was not going to be there when he came home that night. And then she goes down to the kitchen to make breakfast for her daughter. And he comes downstairs while she's in the kitchen, and he continues the argument with her. She had left, and he comes downstairs to re-engage because he doesn't lose. And according to the defendant's statement, his own words to the police, which you will both hear and see on video, very calmly, he says that she was punching him in the kitchen once he came down and re-engaged her in the argument. So what did he do? He didn't punch her back. He didn't push her away right then in self-defense. He didn't call 911. He did what he knows how to do. He left the kitchen and he made a decision. He made a turn out. He went down the hall. He went up the stairs. He went back into his bedroom. He went back to the closet, back to the holster where he says he reholstered the gun after the first time he had pulled it on her. He unholstered the gun, took it out, went out of his room, back down the stairs, down the hall, and back into the kitchen to confront her again with the gun. And while he was going upstairs and doing all of those things and coming back with the gun, where was Jen? Did she follow him, continuing the argument up the stairs, punching him all the way up the stairs, or screaming with him? Nope. She stayed in the kitchen, continuing to do whatever she was doing, making her pancakes for her daughter while he went to go get the gun that was going to be used to kill her. He was again going to introduce a gun into what would have been a relatively typical husband-wife argument. And then, according to him, his statement to the police, she picked up a knife. She picked up the knife because she saw him with the gun. She was protecting herself according to his own statement. And what does she do? She calls him a pussy. It is then undisputed. He says, I disarmed her. Jennifer, 5'6", approximately 149 pounds, and the defendant, 6 feet and approximately 200 pounds at the time, and a 25-0 amateur boxer. Of course he did. Of course he was able to disarm her from the knife. He put the gun in his non-dominant hand, and he disarmed her. And he put the knife in the kitchen drawer. End of story, right? Not exactly. Because according to the defendant, even though she had just been disarmed of the weapon that she was using to protect herself, by his own admission, she started punching him in the chest and the arm. And that's when he shot her. Not one time to get her off of him. Not twice to make her stop. Not 3 times to send her a message to really leave me alone because he means business. Not 4 times, not 5 times either. Nope. Ladies and gentlemen, the evidence will show that he emptied the clip. 8 shots at Jennifer, causing 21 entry and exit wounds. And by his own admission, every shot hit. Every shot hit his target. And what did he do then? He did what people do when they win. He told people about it. He didn't tell 911 in the hopes of maybe getting her help because he had just done this. He didn't run out of his house to call for help for his wife who was laying on the floor with 21 bullet holes in her. He didn't call her family and say he had to shoot her because she was attacking him. Nope. He did what was good for him, because that's what he does. He went upstairs, put on a pair of pants. He went upstairs to get dressed while she lay there bleeding and dying on the floor of the kitchen. And he left. But before he left, he did 2 things. Number 1, he took a picture. He had just killed his unarmed wife. And what did he do? He took a picture of her bent backwards from being on her knees, cowering in the corner of the kitchen while he was shooting her. And he posted it on Facebook. And what was the post? I'm going to prison or death sentence for killing my wife. Love you guys. Miss you guys. Take care, Facebook people. You'll see me in the news. My wife was punching me. I'm not going to stand anymore with the abuse, so I did what I did. I hope you understand me. He killed his wife, supposedly in self-defense, but minutes later he's talking about being on the news. And you will get to see the post. He told the detectives that he posted because he wanted her family to know about what had happened. That's how he wanted them to know? He told a different story to somebody else. He said he wanted to say goodbye to his friends. He told Christine Monsey, the communications officer at the South Miami Police Department, I had to leave. I had to say goodbye. And the judge at the end of this case will explain the law to you and what's required. Because he can say he did something in self-defense, so he can be on the news. But the law is very specific, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll get that law from the judge. But make note, on the Facebook page, no mention of a knife, no mention of any fear, just that he's tired of her. So he leaves the house, drives to his aunt's house, calls his dad, and then turns himself into the South Miami Police Department. Who else does he tell? Well, he told some people at his job that he killed her, no mention of a knife. You're not only going to hear from these witnesses, but you're also going to see the physical evidence, the position that she was in when she was killed, the video that was in the home, in his home. You will see the sequence of events of the defendant going up the stairs to get his gun while Jennifer remains in the kitchen. The video that corroborates the story he gave to the police. And make no mistake, this is his house, his cameras. What you won't see on there, that's the actual shooting. He knows where those cameras are pointed, and he knows where they weren't pointed. You will see the final moments of Jennifer Alfonso's life. You will also see a complete lack of evidence as to no injuries on the defendant, and no complaint of injury on the defendant after his arrest. But I told you that he did two things for himself. First was going upstairs and getting dressed and coming back, taking the picture, putting it on Facebook after he murdered his wife. The second one was Isabel, Jennifer's 10-year-old daughter. She was home. I told you that Jennifer was likely in the kitchen making her some breakfast. You're going to hear from the police how they had to break down the door of the home. The door was locked. He locked it when he left. And so in addition to leaving his dead wife in the kitchen, he locked Isabel in the house with her. And they found her upstairs in a bedroom. Because after getting dressed, as he said, he just had to leave before telling the world that he was going to be on the news. And so he went to Isabel, not to tell her he had just killed her mother, not to tell her that she didn't have a mother anymore. Nope. He said, stay in the room, watch TV, don't come downstairs. No concern that she could have easily wandered downstairs after he had locked her in the house alone and could have found her dead mother in that kitchen with 21 bullet holes in her body. Why? He told Christine Massey. He had to leave. He had to say goodbye to people. He told everyone on Facebook he had to say goodbye. He had time to take a picture and post about himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remember what the attorneys say is not evidence. It is meant to guide you in what they believe the evidence will show. You may continue.
Thank you. The evidence is going to show that he had time to take a picture and post about himself, but no time to call anyone to get Isabel. That was left to the police, to carry her downstairs after they broke into the house with a blanket over her face so that she would not have to be taken by the kitchen and see her mother dead on the floor of the kitchen. Ladies and gentlemen, while the evidence will show that the defendant may have wanted this to be self-defense, the testimonial and the physical evidence will absolutely not support a finding of that, as the judge will instruct you and give you the law. What it will support is that this was a defendant who was all about him. His rules, his way, he wins, he shoots when he wants, and he leaves when he wants. And he tells the world about it on his terms. All the evidence will show that the defendant is guilty of child neglect for abandoning 10-year-old Isabel Vieira and locking her in the house with her dead mother downstairs. And for killing his unarmed wife, he is guilty of first-degree murder. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Judge.
Judge, at this time the defense is going to defer opening statement.
Ladies ladies and gentlemen, the defense does have the opportunity to waive a warning and reserve for a later time, and that is what they have elected to do. Would the state like to call its first witness?
Yes, Judge. State calls Carolyn Anderson Knox.
And if you would please come forward to be sworn in. Please come take a seat on the witness stand. Ma'am, I will ask that all of your responses be out loud. Please speak loudly so the jurors can hear you. Mr. Dunn, when you are ready, and she is coming.
Thank you. Would you please introduce yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
I'm Carolyn Anderson Knox,
And what is your date of birth, Ms. Knox?
August 7th, 1965.
Can you please tell the jury how you are related to the victim in this case, Jennifer Alfonso?
She's my daughter.
And can you please give us Jennifer's date of birth?
December 1st, 1986.
And how old was Jennifer at the time of her death?
26.
So how old would that make Jennifer when Isabel was born?
16.
Can you please tell us also who Isabel's father is?
Gabriel Vieira.
Did Jennifer and Gabriel and Isabel ever live together as a family?
Yes, I did.
During what period of time did they all live together as a family?
I would say from the time Isabella was about 6 to 8 months old until she was maybe 3 or 4.
And how long were Gabriel and Jennifer a couple in total?
Well, they dated for about a month before she got pregnant, so about 3 years, I guess. 3 or 4.
And approximately when did Gabriel and Jennifer split up?
When Isabel was about 4. They were off and on for a little while, but she was basically 4.
Can you tell us also, please, where Jennifer and Isabel lived after she split up with Isabel's father, Gabriel?
She lived in an efficiency close, a couple blocks away from my house for a while. And then we moved into Coconut Grove, and she lived in the same building that I lived.
Now, when Jennifer split up with Gabriel, did she have primary custody of Isabel at that point?
Yes.
Now, did there come a point when primary custody was shifted from Jennifer to her father, Gabriel?
Yes.
And about when did that occur?
She had to have been 5 because she was in kindergarten already.
And was this a voluntary arrangement between Jennifer and Gabriel to have Isabel start living with Gabriel?
Yes.
Did Gabriel have to take Jennifer to court to get custody of Isabel?
No.
Was Jennifer ever accused of being an unfit mother to your knowledge?
No. No.
Did Jennifer work?
Yes.
At what age did she begin working?
She was 16 when she started working.
And what kind of work did she do?
She was a waitress.
And did she always work as a waitress?
Yes.
Was she waitressing at the time of her death?
Yes, she
Do you remember where?
She was waitressing at Denny's.
Which one?
US 1, across the street from University of Miami.
Did Jennifer continue to have visitation with
Yes.
Isabel?
Yes.
Did she financially support Isabel?
Yes.
How often would Isabel visit with Jennifer?
Every other weekend, pretty much.
And was that visitation, again, a voluntary arrangement between Isabel's father and her, or something that was court order intervention?
No, it was voluntary.
Now, did you yourself also continue to see Isabel throughout this period?
Yes.
And how often would you see Isabel?
When Isabel visited with Jennifer, they both stayed with me.
Do you know someone named Derek Vernon Medina?
Yes.
Did you see Derek Medina in the courtroom?
Yes.
Can you please point to him and identify him by an article of clothing?
He's right there with the black suit and
Let the record reflect the witnesses identify the defendant.
The record will reflect what the record will reflect.
How do you know the defendant?
he's my son-in-law.
When did the defendant and Jennifer meet, to the best of your recollection?
Best of my recollection, well, I believe he was a regular of hers at Denny's, so I'm not clear on exactly when they met, but I would say, I don't know, 2010 sometime, maybe 2011.
And do you know how long after they met did they get married?
I don't know, it wasn't very long, maybe a month or two, but that's a guess, because I don't know exactly when they met.
Did you know that they were going to get married? How did you find out?
Jennifer told me they'd gone to Puerto Rico on vacation and they got a marriage license while they were there.
Did Jennifer and Derek reside together after this first marriage? And do you know where they lived during this first marriage?
First place that I knew of was a house that belonged to his aunt that they were staying in. I know he was staying in an efficiency at his aunt's, but I don't know if she ever stayed there with him or not.
Now, during this first marriage, did Jennifer and Derek live together continuously, or were there ever any periods of breakup?
There were times when they would have fights and he would bring her to my house. I don't remember how many times that happened, but they argued and
So how would you learn about these arguments and breakups?
she would be at my house with all her things, pretty much.
And do you have any recollection of about how many times this occurred where Derek would bring Jennifer to your house with her belongings?
That I can recall, a couple of times.
And were these brief breakups, or did they go on for a while?
They usually reconcile pretty quick, about a week, maybe, a few days.
And after that brief period, would Derek eventually take Jennifer back?
Yes.
Now, do you know when the first marriage ended for good, when he didn't take her back?
I think it was in 2012 sometime.
Do you know which one filed for divorce?
I believe Derek filed for divorce.
And was that divorce eventually finalized and gone through?
Yes, to my understanding.
And after their divorce or their separation, I should say, where did Jennifer live initially?
She stayed with me for a while, for a couple months.
And then after that?
She got up enough money and she lived in a condominium that my husband had before we were married.
And did she continue to work during this time?
Yes.
Did there come a point when Jennifer and Derek remarried?
Yes.
And when did they remarry?
I'm not exactly sure because I didn't know that it was going to happen, when it was happening, and that they were even seeing each other seriously again.
Did you know ahead of time that they were going to get remarried?
No.
So how did you find out?
Jennifer told me.
So where did Jennifer and Derek live now during their, what was the second marriage?
I believe that they moved into where they lived when she passed away.
So this would be
I don't know where the address is. It's a townhouse on Miller and Red Road, I think.
Can you just speak up just a little bit?
Sure.
So they lived in a condo?
It was a two-story condo. It's a townhouse.
Was that the location where Jennifer died?
Yes.
And do you know who owned that condo where they lived during the second marriage?
I believe it was Derek and his aunt,
Do you know his aunt's name?
Valerie.
Her last name?
I'm not familiar with her last name, I'm sorry.
So taking you to the week that Jennifer died, okay, first week of August of 2013, were Jennifer and Derek residing in that condo, that townhouse in South Miami at
Yes.
that time.
Yes, my understanding is.
And was Isabel in school during this period?
Oh, it was summer break still.
In the summer, okay.
Yeah.
Had Isabel stayed at your house during any period that week?
Yes, she stayed with me that weekend prior.
The weekend prior to the homicide?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us exactly what days prior to your daughter's death that Isabel had stayed at your house?
They came over on Friday, the Friday prior. I don't know, I guess it was the 2nd. And they stayed until Sunday evening.
And then what happened on?
I wasn't feeling well, so I normally would take Isabel home. But I asked for them to come and pick her up because I wasn't feeling well. So
And by then you mean Derek and Jennifer?
yes.
Okay. And so that Sunday, did they come and pick up Isabel from your house?
Yes, we did.
And was it your understanding that Isabel was going to be spending the remainder of that week at Derek and Jennifer's condo in South Miami? And do you remember how old was Isabel at the time of Jennifer's death?
10.
And you said she was on summer break, right?
Yes.
Do you know what grade she was going to be going into when school started?
I don't remember, honestly.
Do you remember where she was going to school?
She was going to Redland Elementary.
Now, at the time of her death, did you ever know Jennifer to leave Isabel home alone?
No, not to my knowledge.
During the times that Isabel would stay with you, when you would watch her, did you ever leave her alone by herself?
No.
Did you have a Facebook account at the time of Jennifer's death?
Yes.
Did Derek and Jennifer also have Facebook accounts?
Yes.
Were you Facebook friends with both of them?
Yes.
And from whom did you learn of Jennifer's death? What person?
Her best friend Daisy called me and alerted me to it. And I looked it up online and saw it.
And when you learned of your daughter's death, did you respond to the condominium?
Yes.
And what did you see when you arrived?
Leaf. Yellow tape.
And did you have a chance to speak with the detectives at that time? So the Sunday prior when Jennifer had come to pick up Isabel, was that the last time you saw your daughter alive? Thank you. No further questions.
Cross-examination?
Ms. Knox, good afternoon. My name is Sam Zhang, and I'm counsel for Ms. Medina. I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Ms. Knox, please just make sure that your voice is raised.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
Do you need a few minutes?
I'm okay. Thank you.
You indicated that you were Facebook friends with Derek and your daughter.
Correct.
Would they be active on Facebook?
Yes.
Do you have a close relationship with your daughter?
I believe so.
At any point, did you ever see any postings with regards to Derek Medina and any amateur fights that he had on his Facebook account?
Not that I can recall.
Did you ever go to any of these fights with your daughter?
No.
Did you know if any of these fights ever actually existed?
No.
If Derek Medina would have been a 25-0 amateur boxer, do you think your daughter would have mentioned this to you?
I don't know.
Well, let me ask it this way. Would she comment to you about Derek's work?
Yes.
Would she comment to you about how Derek would make money?
Not in those terms, no.
Did he have a job?
Yes.
And he would comment to you about the job he had? She talked to you about the job he had?
Yes.
At no point did she comment to you about him being an amateur boxer, correct?
No.
Or making any money from any amateur fights, correct?
Correct.
you indicated that there was an arrangement between your daughter and Gabriel Vieira, who's the father of their child, Isabel, correct?
Correct.
And that arrangement was that Gabriel took care of Isabel for about 2 weeks, and then twice a month your daughter would have her for the weekends, correct?
Correct.
And Gabriel didn't work during this time, right?
To my knowledge, no, he did not.
And your daughter worked the entire time, correct? So she was financially supporting her daughter?
Correct.
And your daughter was living with you during this time, correct?
For the most part.
So I'm clear on this. Your daughter was supporting this guy Gabriel Vieira financially, right?
She was supporting her daughter.
I apologize. Well, let me ask you a question. Did you ever refer to Jennifer as Gabriel Vieira's meal ticket?
No.
Give me one second, Judge. I need the email.
Next question.
What's your email address?
Flaka807@yahoo.com.
Who is CAALONSO@TRACFONE?
My work email.
That's your work email, correct?
Correct.
And you're working in, and that's the work email that you had in April 2013, correct?
Correct.
And your daughter's email was isabel03@yahoo.com, correct?
Correct.
Judge Oliver, I'm going to reserve the right to recall this witness at a later time with regard to this matter.
Your next question, please.
You'll agree with me that Gabriel did not contribute at all to Isabel's upcoming financial, correct?
I can't say yes or no.
Did your daughter discuss this arrangement that she had with Gabriel with you?
I know that Isabel went to stay with him and she would come every other weekend.
So out of 30 days in a month, 6 of those 30 days were spent with her mother, correct? Roughly?
I suppose.
And you were okay with this arrangement?
Yes.
And just to clarify, you had room in your house to accommodate them being here, correct?
I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in Coconut Grove with my 2 daughters.
Okay, so my question is, did you have room in your house to accommodate Jennifer Alfonso and her daughter if she needed to stay?
Yeah.
There was no issue with regards to your daughter and drug use. That's not an issue here that came into play as to why Gabriel had custody of their daughter?
Not that I'm aware of.
But you're aware that your daughter was a drug user, right?
Sustained.
Did you ever have discussions with Isabel, with your daughter, with regards to whether or not she hit Derek Medina?
Objection, relevance, hearsay.
Sustained.
Did you ever learn that your daughter had struck Derek Medina?
Objection, reconcile, Judge.
Yes, you did. Ladies and gentlemen, again, please remember that Defense, your next question, please. Defense, your next question, please.
Judge, at this time, we reserve the right to recall this witness during the defense case issue.
So noted. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You are excused. Would the state like to call its next witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Want me to go? Well, Jose, okay. Sir, please come forward. Are you sworn?
Yes.
Take a seat. Sir, please make sure all of your answers are out loud. If you have any documentation with you, please place it face down before you begin. Ms. Klein, when he is ready, you may begin.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you please introduce yourselves to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Hi, my name is Fausto Pena.
Mr. Pena, where do you work?
I work at the Castle Group.
What is that?
It's a property management company.
What type of work do you do?
I'm a property manager,
Okay.
so I take care of the master association, the common areas.
Are you at a specific building now, or?
No, it's a homeowner association. It's 1,700 homes.
And I want to take you back to August of 2013. Were you working for the same Castle Group at that point?
No,
Who were you working for back in August of 2013?
I was working for First Service Residential.
Okay. What was that?
It's another property management company.
And were you working in their offices, or were you assigned to work at a specific one of the buildings that they managed?
I was at one of the buildings called the Gables Club.
I'm just going to ask you to please keep your voice up so that...
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So you were working back in August of 2013 at the Gables Club.
Right.
Okay. And where is that located?
That's in Coral Gables,
Okay.
10 Edgewater Drive.
And what were your responsibilities at that time?
I was a front desk supervisor.
What does that mean?
It means that I greet the residents and guests when they come in. I activate their elevators. I answer phone calls.
Okay. Did you have a specific shift back in August of 2013?
Yes, I had the morning shift from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay. And Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Okay. Did there come a time when you met someone named Derek Medina?
Yes.
Do you see that person sitting in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Please identify him by an article of clothing that he is wearing.
Yes, he's the gentleman sitting in the middle with the gray suit, a white shirt.
The record reflects he's identified the defendant. How is it that you came to meet the defendant?
He worked there at the Gables Club with me.
When did he start working relative to when you started working?
Well, I had been there for a longer time. He was probably there for about 4 or 5 months.
Before you had, he had started working 4 or 5 months?
No,
Before
no,
August?
no. I've been there for a while. So
Okay.
he was there by August. He was there for 4 or 5 months.
Okay. And do you know what shift he worked?
Yes, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. The overnight shift.
Okay. And was that Monday through Friday?
Yes,
So would you take over for him at 7 when he finished his shift?
right. When he would finish his shift at 7 o'clock in the morning, I would be his relief. I would come in at 7 for my shift.
So he had the same job responsibilities there that you did, but overnight?
We're overnight, correct.
Okay. And what was your interaction when you would see him at 7 a.m.?
Nothing much. I mean, we didn't have enough time. He would leave and I would come in. That was about it.
Did you two have any type of social relationship outside of?
No,
Were you two Facebook friends?
no.
I want to draw your attention to August the 8th of 2013. Okay? Did you work that day?
Yes,
And, you know, before that, did you know whether the defendant was married or not?
I knew he had a girlfriend. I'm not sure if it was a girlfriend or his wife. I'm not sure.
And had you ever met her?
No.
Okay, back to August 8th, 2013. So you were working on that day?
Yes.
Okay. Did there come a time when you received a phone call from the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall approximately what time that was?
It was before lunch,
Okay.
approximately 10 o'clock. I can't recall really.
Okay.
But it
In the
was
morning?
before lunch. It was in the morning.
Okay, fine. And did the call come in on your cell phone, or was it on the work phone at
No.
the desk you said you answered?
Right, it was at the desk.
Okay. And tell me what happened.
I received the call. I remember it